The miracle of Jesus walking on water is more than just a supernatural event. It is a deep spiritual lesson about faith, fear, and the presence of God in the storms of life. This event is recorded in Matthew 14:22-33, where the disciples found themselves in a boat in the middle of a raging sea. As the winds howled and the waves crashed around them, they saw something they could not believe: Jesus walking toward them on the water. At first, they were terrified. They thought he was a ghost. But immediately Jesus spoke to them and said, "Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid." These words were not just for comfort. They were a powerful declaration of his identity and assurance of his presence. Even in the darkest and most dangerous moments, Jesus is near. Peter, bold and impulsive as always, called out to Jesus and said, "Lord, if it is you, tell me to come to you on the water." Jesus replied with one word, "Come." That simple invitation was an open door to experience the impossible, not through Peter's strength, but through his faith. Peter stepped out of the boat. For a few miraculous moments he walked on the water, his eyes fixed on Jesus. As long as his focus remained on Christ, the waves beneath his feet could not touch him. But then Peter looked away. He noticed the wind, the towering waves, and the chaos around him. Fear crept in, doubt replaced faith, and he began to sink. In desperation, he cried out, "Oh Lord, save me!" Immediately, Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" This moment captures the human experience so well. We all face storms. We all feel fear, and even in our moments of faith, doubt can quickly rise. But Jesus does not turn away from us when we waver. He doesn't scold us from a distance. He reaches out, takes our hand, and lifts us back up. That is the grace of God. This miracle teaches us that storms are not always punishments or signs of God's absence. Sometimes God leads us into storms to grow our faith, to teach us to trust, and to show us his power in ways we never imagined. The disciples were in that boat because Jesus told them to go ahead of him. He knew the storm would come, and yet he allowed it. But he never left them alone. We also learn that Jesus shows up at the right time, not always early, but never late. He comes when we need him most, often when we are at the end of our own strength. And his presence changes everything. What was once terrifying becomes peaceful. What was chaotic becomes calm. What was impossible becomes possible. Peter's walk on the water was not about his ability, but about his trust. When his eyes were on Jesus, he walked. When his focus shifted to the storm, he sank. Our spiritual lives work the same way. When we fix our eyes on Christ, we can move forward even through the hardest circumstances. But when we focus on the problem, we begin to drown in worry, fear, and doubt. Still, there is grace. Even when we fail, even when we panic and call out for help, Jesus is right there. He reaches for us immediately. He doesn't wait until we've earned it or figured things out. That is love. That is mercy. Today, many of us are in our own boats, facing our own storms. These storms might be personal, like sickness, loneliness, financial struggle, or emotional pain, or they may be spiritual, like doubt, temptation, or a sense of being far from God. Whatever the storm, the message remains the same. Jesus is walking toward you. He is not far. He is not blind to your struggle. He is not late. He is coming with power, peace, and a hand ready to pull you out of the waves. All he asks is that you trust him. Look to him. And when you feel like you're drowning, call his name, "Lord, save me." This miracle reminds us that faith is not the absence of fear. It's trusting Jesus in the middle of fear. It's stepping out even when the storm hasn't calmed. It's holding on to his voice more than the noise of the wind. And yes, sometimes we will sink, but every time we cry out, he will be there. Jesus walking on water was not just a display of divine power. It was a lesson of divine nearness. He wasn't just showing the disciples that he could walk on water. He was showing them that he walks toward us when we're in trouble. He doesn't wait on the shore. He doesn't shout instructions from far away. He comes to us. He climbs into our boat. In the moment he enters, the wind dies down. That's what he wants to do in your life, too. He wants to come into your storm and bring peace. He wants to lift you up when you fall. He wants to help you walk where you thought you would drown. Because with him, nothing is impossible. So if you're afraid, if you're in the middle of a storm, if your faith is small, remember this. Peter walked on water not because he was strong, but because he trusted Jesus for a moment. You can do the same. fix your eyes on him, step out in faith. And if you begin to sink, don't be ashamed, just cry out. He will catch you. Let this miracle be more than a story. Let it be a promise, a reminder, a call to trust, to walk, to believe. The same Jesus who walked on water still walks toward you. The same hand that caught Peter is reaching for you. And the same voice that calmed the sea can calm your heart.